Welcome to part 6 of What If Goku Was a Naruto. At the moment, this is probably one of my favourite what ifs that I'm covering, and I really hope everyone's enjoying it. So, let's get into it. Last time we left off with Goku and Naruto having a big fight while in their rage forms, Goku being Izaru, I think. No, Ikari, and Naruto being in his rage mode. Trauma, like rage mode and that. I really hope Goku's one is called Atari, otherwise I'm really stupid. You know the one that Broly uses? That wrathful form. It's not called Atari, is it? I don't think. Oh, it was wrathful form. Yeah, a big fight. Then at one point Goku went into Zaru, and Naruto went into this big like red Kurama form. So yeah. So after this big fight, when Goku and Naruto wake up and go see everyone, Sakura goes to Naruto and Goku and goes to punch them both in the head. We see Goku and Naruto both blocked her punch, and they realise they've gotten a whole lot more powerful. Like a whole lot. Naruto, while in the fight, because he used so much of Kurama's energy, and Kurama had to put so much out to keep up with the Ozaru, he actually has infused a lot of his chakra with Kurama's accidentally. And Goku, he had a massive Zenkai because he was battered. So yeah, both of them are a lot stronger without knowing. They're surprised with their strength, of course. And they both start running around and they're like amazed by how strong and fast they are. Everyone is. But yeah, once they're told what happened, they're like amazed. They're like, no, we didn't. And everyone's like, yes, you did. And Goku and Naruto are like, no, we'd never fight. And so everyone's like, this is probably about an hour earlier. These two were in monster forms, but having the battle of the ages. And now these two idiots are saying they didn't fight. So everyone has to explain it to them. And then Goku remembers that he kicked Naruto off the die, and then yeah, they both have no feelings of anger to each other because they both think they're in the wrong. But yeah, so now we're going to the I'd say something like the Star Stay Retrieval arc. I know that I forget what his name is, the puppet guy, Sasori. I get the big point of this mission is that he told them like all the stuff. I'm gonna say that he did in this one before he died. He said it, and Kakashi had picked up on it because Kakashi hears all. I don't care what we say. Kakashi is doted. I'm kidding, but yeah. So we see Team 7 because they need an extra member. They actually impressed Goku because Goku is a high-ranked Jonin. He's also good at controlling Naruto's rage form, and as well, his team doesn't have any missions at the moment. So he's actually the perfect candidate to join Team 7 for this mission. I'm sorry about Sai. Sai will be a part of the story later. So yeah, that's why actually, while Naruto's done, because the only reason Naruto was picked for this mission, because it was Goku was picked for the mission, because the reasons I just said, and his team's mission wasn't too difficult. But for his team, for the one mission, they have a teammate picked, which is Sai. Sai, it goes from their team just to help them. Some people may think this wouldn't be true, this wouldn't happen. But yeah, I think it would. I'm just doing it to spice it up. So Sai's on their team. And yeah, he actually starts to come nice. Kiba and Hinata are very good people, and I believe they'd actually make Sai a bit nicer for a few missions with them, although Goku's done. But yeah, back to the other mission. A lot of stuff goes similarly going the way there, except there wasn't any fighting. And as well, they're actually with Kakashi, not Yamato, because Kakashi did not get very injured on the mission. Just to clarify that. So they go there. They don't actually pretend to be Sasori in this one, because there's no point. So they actually just wait, and they have to jump out with them because they don't really use a transformation jutsu or anything because they just couldn't. Let's just say that. So they actually have to using the Sharingan that Kakashi has. They actually find where they all are, And he stands back and he says, "Alright, Orochimaru's here. Anyone slips up, result in death. Orochimaru is a high-ranking Kage level opponent. He cannot be taken lightly. Fight him with full power at all times." And so Orochimaru's there with this cocky bravado. He smiles at everyone. He says, "Hello. I've missed you all. I've been waiting for hours." He gives them the biggest win. As you see Naruto and Goku look at him with anger. As Naruto says, "Where's Sasuke?" And Orochimaru says, "Oh, Sasuke, I would like to tell you, but I let my students choose what I say about them, and he said not to tell you." Naruto says he'd never do that. You corrupted him. And Orochimaru says, "I'd never corrupt him. Sasuke was just looking for power, and I could give it to him. Something you'll never be able to do." Poor Naruto. See Naruto look at him with his red eyes as he's ready to go into rage mode. Before he can do anything, you see Goku burst out with his mode where he has shield around him. Not Atari mode yet. So he punches Orochimaru, sending him flying. And Orochimaru's amazed. He's never properly seen Goku, but he sees this power. And he realises that he's amazing. He needs Goku, he realises. He could possibly even be as good as Sasuke, but no, he needs to remember Sasuke. But he must experiment on this Goku. He must learn his power. As we see Goku, while Orochimaru is thinking this, Goku appears in front of him, punches him up in the air, and then we see Naruto up in the air, smash him with 2 giant Rasenguns. Orochimaru at this point is he's already pretty hurt, and he says, "Kabuto, I think it's time we teach these boys a lesson." As Orochimaru, you see him pressing using these jutsu signs, as he slams on the ground a summon jutsu. He summons the giant snake that I can't remember the name of. He summons 3 giant snakes and sends one of them after Sakura, one of them after Kakashi, one of them after Naruto. He wants to fight Goku himself to see if he can truly experiment on this boy. By the way, Orochimaru is kind of strange in there. He's a bit like Hisoka. I said the name wrong, but yeah, don't I? So then we see Orochimaru and Goku fighting. Orochimaru pops out 1,000 snakes from his arms, and we see Goku jump up in the air and slam his foot on the ground, killing them all. As then Orochimaru starts laughing as he says, "You truly are powerful. Now let's see if you can beat the likes of me, the demon of this shinobi world." As we see Goku run up to him and punch him straight in the stomach, making him fly away. As Orochimaru puts his hands out, and a giant snake appears out as he flings it straight over Goku at high speed. As you see Goku grab the snake, throw it back at Orochimaru, just for Orochimaru to dodge. And then he starts laughing. He says, "Oh, I'm impressed, but let's see if you can beat anyone else with a certain amount of power." As we see Orochimaru use the Ido Sensei, and he revives some people. He revives the former user of the 9 Tails. It's one from quite a bit ago that I'm just gonna make up a name of. I'm gonna call Joni. So Joni is a girl who had the 9 Tails. This was quite a bit ago. This is probably about she was born 100 years ago. and she died in this Naruto world about 4 years ago. So she was 60 years old. This was before the leaf true. No, actually, let me redo that. I don't think that's best. I'm gonna say that this Joni girl, she was the holder before Tushina. No, before the person before Tushina. Yeah, so she was quite a bit though, and she was summoned, and she looked at Goku with this ferocious look, and she wasn't a very powerful holder of the Nine Tails. The way she died is that the Nine Tails took over her, and it had to be taken out. So we see them fighting, and this Nine Tails girl, she starts to power up more until she turns into what Naruto turned in that night, the big red aura of the Nine Tails, but it's the same size as him. So everyone's amazed by this, especially Naruto, because that's his power. As we see Goku look at it as he stands back and he says, "What have you done? You're forcing this innocent girl to do what you want." As we see Goku scream, "You monster!" as he runs in and punches Orochimaru. As Orochimaru is laughing while he's being sent through the air. He's in horrible pain, but he doesn't care. He's changing Goku. He wants to make Goku a monster. So Goku finally lets into his rage of his Atari mode, and he runs over to this person who's holding the Nine Tails, and he charges up the biggest Ki blast in one hand and shoots it straight out. It's like remember when Planet Vegeta was to be destroyed, and Bardock ran the way and shot out that beam to try and stop Frieza's giant death ball. It's a bit like that. As we see the Nine Tails proper hurt by this attack, as it whacks Goku. As we see this big fight happen, and Goku he's not holding back. He's punching straight through. This girl, she didn't have the full power of the Nine Tails. She wasn't as strong as most. She was nowhere near as strong as Naruto's proper Nine Tails mode. Goku defeats her, and Orochimaru is even more impressed. He's stronger than any tailed beast. As this fight goes on, Naruto's already dealt with his snake, same with Kakashi. Sakura is still useless, so she hasn't dealt with hers. Kakashi and Naruto have been trying to go over to help her. But they all get there at one point. So this is at the point where Goku shoots off that massive Ki blast at the snake, and they're amazed because they didn't think Goku would have the strength. He just jumped this great distance way into the air and shot off this massive Ki blast. But yeah, so then we see at one point in the fight, Goku looks at it, and they almost see a person behind him, but not a person. They always see this giant figure of the Grey Ape, the Ozaru, before it dissipates, and Goku lets out all of his power in one Wasenha, completely destroying this Johnny. So everyone gets back, and Orochimaru starts running. Before anyone can calm down Goku chases him, and you hear Naruto shout, "Goku!" As Naruto, his eyes go red. He gets a Nine Tails cloak and he chases after Goku. And Kakashi and Sakura realise they'll have to go. Kakashi could probably get there pretty quickly. He's very fast. But Sakura is holding him back, as always. I'm sorry, I really don't like Sakura, if you couldn't tell. I think I'm going to make another Naruto What If where I make her useful. So yeah, they get to the Orochimaru's base, and Sasuke's waiting there with his blade. And Goku's there first. Goku sees him, and you see him stand there. And Goku's kind of bulky at this point of this form. So he's grown probably about, I wouldn't say he's grown too much. I'd probably say he's grown half a foot. So he's probably quite a bit taller than Sasuke, and he's really bulky as he runs over to Sasuke. And Sasuke, he didn't think Naruto would be this strong. Naruto punches him, and this rocks Sasuke. And Sasuke's like, how the hell is this idiot this powerful? As he realises that he may have to try in this battle. So he puts on his 3 Tomori Sharingan, and they start fighting. It's a good fight, but it's clear that that Sasuke is kind of outmatched until Naruto gets there. As they all start fighting, as Naruto starts to lean more into his rage. He hasn't got any tails yet, but he's covered in this 9 tails aura. It's not like Naruto's other form, which actually tamed it. He's like kind of in the middle. It's kind of like red, like bubbling up around him. As his features are slightly changing, but he hasn't got the tail. He hasn't got any tails yet. So yeah, he looks at Sasuke and he says, "Come back to the village, Sasuke." As it's still Naruto talking, but it's like it's Kurama's voice. As then we see Sasuke angry that the likes of Goku could surpass him again after all this training. As then we see Sasuke, he says, "You idiotic monkey boy." As he's talking to Goku, he says, "How did you beat me? I thought I'd gotten more powerful than anyone, but you always had to try and be better than me, fighting for what you call your friends. You don't know what true power is, do you? Now you must die." As Goku, he starts to calm down, as you see Goku start to faint in that. But before he does, we see Sasuke running and plunge a sword straight in Goku's stomach. As Naruto screams, "Brother, no! Sasuke, why would you do this?" As Sasuke said, "This is what he deserves." But that's where I'm going to end it. I hope everyone liked this video. Yeah, I worked very hard on it. I didn't actually, but yeah. It means a lot to me if anyone subbed or liked. But yeah, that's where I'm going to leave it. Goodbye.